Is it time for the GOP to become the gay old party? In the wake of the Orlando terror attack, maybe gays and conservatives need to kiss and make up. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm Steve Green with Bill Whittle and Scott Ott, and here's the right angle on how to move forward together after Orlando. Gents, I got on Twitter Sunday morning, and I think it was just a big mistake. So I remembered why I'm hardly on Twitter anymore. You know, after every attack, after every tragedy, you get the same people arguing the same things, just everybody trying to out-clever each other with new variations on the same old talking points, and nobody wins any hearts, nobody changes any minds. It's just same old, same old, same old, and it got me to thinking that there must be a way out of this impasse. Because, you know, every generation or two, political parties, they have to build new coalitions as the issues change, the times change, and frankly, members of the old coalition die off. So right now, the Republicans have to build a new coalition because the old one is either dying off like the Reagan Democrats, or wandering off like a lot of libertarians, or scared off like the Never Trumps. And of course, in Orlando, 49 Americans are dead now, probably almost all of them Democrats, because President Obama still treats the Islamic State like they're the junior varsity, and because, and this one really enrages me, the Obama administration eagerly caved to Muslim demands that the FBI not warn gay nightclubs that they might be targets for Islamic radicals. The FBI wanted to put out the warning, but Barack Obama and John Brennan said no. They removed the language. So, Bill, is this the time for conservatives to make a real outreach to our fellow Americans who happen to be gay? And how do you make that appeal? Can you make that appeal over shouts from a few ideologues on one side about gay wedding cakes being the end-all be-all, and shouts from a few ideologues on the other side that you're all going to hell? How do you get past this?
Well, I think as Orlando shows us, the one thing that we could do is we could say, yes, we could make friends with the gay community. We could also make friends with the we could make friends with the gay community. We could make friends with the women community, and we could make friends with the Jewish community. Do you know what all three of these things have in common? Well, first of all, they all vote Democrat in enormous numbers. And secondly, they are all specially targeted by these Islamic murderers. They are all of them specially targeted by these Islamic murderers. And we're outraged in Orlando because 50 homosexuals were killed. And that's something to be outraged about. But how many are killed on any given day throughout the rest of the Islamic world? How many? How many women are stoned to death on any given day? How many Jews are killed in Tel Aviv or wherever, right? These people are being mass murdered selectively by a group of Islamic murderers, and the Democratic Party that they keep voting for all the time simply refuses to say the word. Forget about taking action. They will not even say the words. We ought to get that in front of these people and say, we're the ones that are trying to protect you. We're the ones that are trying to fight these people. We're the ones that understand that they need to be utterly destroyed. And you keep voting for the people that allow this cancer to continue to grow, and that is aimed at you. It's aimed at you.
And Bill, speaking even more broadly, you know, coalition building, you've got black Americans who are getting screwed over by the public education system. Their cities are being destroyed by the drug war. And you've got Latinos at the bottom of the income scale who are really hurting because of illegal immigrants who are pushing that bottom down even more. There's so much room for outreach here.
No, we don't even deserve to be in the fight, let alone win.
It's absolutely true. And, you know, maybe there is some of this going on. Scott, there's a great little underreported story here for you, and maybe one of those teachable moments, as they say. You know, Chick-fil-A is notorious for its CEO's personal stance against gay marriage, but on Sunday, an Orlando Chick-fil-A opened its doors. You know, they're closed every Sunday. Opened its doors not for business, but to make free food and drink that they delivered to the huge crowds waiting in line to give at the One Blood Donation Center. So, is hate maybe not what some of our gay friends have been taught to believe it is?
I think that's an accurate way to state that. And when I hear the way the Christian approach to homosexuals is noised about in the media, I find it to be alien. And, you know, I've been now part of the body of Christ, so to speak, for 28 years, since I was 28 years old. So however many years that is, I don't do math. And I have not seen the kind of nonsense that I hear in the media about the way Christians view homosexuality. As a believer in the Bible, I believe homosexuality is sin. Homosexual behavior is sin, like a lot of the sin that I engage in. It's not better or worse than my sin. All of it can come under the atoning sacrifice of Jesus Christ. All of it can be forgiven by Jesus. And I can't look down my nose at anybody. So you don't select out a particular sin and say, oh, that's worse than others. Now, on the other hand, I also am not seeking special protection for my brand of sin. You know, when I lie, I don't lobby the government and say, hey, I'd like to make my lies a special category that's okay, and that, in fact, taxpayers have to subsidize in some way. So, you know, that's where you make the distinction. So I can say that homosexual behavior is morally wrong according to the scriptures, but I can also say that I will fight to the death to defend your right to not be infringed upon by the government. And the fact that the Democrats don't want freedom for homosexuals. The Democrats want dependency for homosexuals. The Democrats want you to belong to them. And that's why they want to keep you disarmed. And that's why they want to keep you completely tied in with the political superstructure. I want you to be free. I want you to be free to make good choices. I want you to be free to arm yourself to defend yourself in situations like we saw in Orlando.
Can I just add one thing here?
Yeah.
What Scott said there, I think, is not only the essence of America, but it's the essence of modern conservatism. And I just want to elaborate on it for a second.
Sure.
Scott said that he considers homosexuality to biblically, scripturally, to be a sin, but he will fight to the death to protect their rights to not be coerced by the government. You see, progressives, we conservatives are not actually the knuckle draggers or the Neanderthals you are. You know why? Because we can have two ideas in our minds at the same time. And similarly, we can identify the threat of this Islamic murder cult in our country as being dangerous, destructive, and murderous without having to go and pull every single innocent Muslim family out of their homes in America and beat them to death in the streets of Cleveland or Boise, Idaho. We can do both at the same time.
And, you know, I just want to add to what Scott said. You know, I myself am not a Christian, but I was certainly touched by what Chick-fil-A did, and I was certainly touched by Scott's words about his faith. And I hope everybody, Christian, Jewish, or otherwise, can be touched by that too. And, you know, the sad truth is, on the less victimhood scale, right now, gay lives rank below Muslim feelings. That's a cold, hard fact.
That's right.
And even Barney Frank is seeing the light on that one. But, you know, that's difficult for many gays to accept, and it's uncomfortable, if not to mince words, for many on the right to do anything about. But there are votes to be won here, and more importantly, there are American lives to protect. So my message to my conservative friends is, get over the ick factor or whatever, work to win those votes and to protect those lives. And my message to my gay friends is, whatever differences you have with conservatives, we can all agree that national security is fabulous. So vote as though your life depends upon it, because it just might. And that is the right angle on moving forward after Orlando. And my thanks to the paying members at BillWhittle.com who make this show possible. If you want to be a part of that, go to BillWhittle.com, become a member yourself. Thanks so much.